This is section 9.1, Intro to Composition of Functions. We're going to forego the formal definition of a function. What we're going to worry about is that we're using f of x in place of y. So for example, f of x is equal to x squared plus 1. We could also say y is equal to x squared plus 1, but we'll be using f of x. We'll be specifically talking about operations on functions. When we're given two different functions, let's say f of x is equal to 3x and g of x is equal to x squared. So let's go ahead and start by adding them together. So sometimes you will just see it as f of x plus g of x, which literally means we plug in 3x for f of x and x squared plus for gx, and that's it. And because we can't combine any like terms, we're done. If you could combine any like terms, then you would simplify. So let's do subtraction. It's going to look the same as the one on top, but with a subtraction sign in between. Next, we're going to go ahead and do multiplication. For the multiplication, it looks almost the same. We just changed the operation in between, but in this case, we can simplify to get 3x cubed. And last but not least, we'll do division. It'll look a little bit different. And we get 3x over x squared, which we can simplify to 3 over x. So this is the base of what we're doing, but typically when we're given the problems, they look a little bit different. So on the left-hand side, we can see the formula we just saw it in, but the way it will be given to us is a little bit different, but they mean the exact same thing. So all they did was they took the two letters together and put them inside parentheses with the same operation and put the x on the outside. So these mean the same thing, they just look a little bit different. So problems will typically look of the form, given f of x and g of x, what is f plus g of x, f minus g of x? So it's the same thing. For the first one, all we're doing is adding the two together. In the second one, we're subtracting the two. So they look almost identical. The only thing that is different is their operation that's given to us. In this case, we can simplify the 3x squared plus 2x squared to get 5x squared plus x. And on the bottom, instead of adding them together, we'll subtract them and we get x squared. And remember that this whole function is being subtracted, so we do have to distribute our negative to the x at the end as well. So instead of an addition here, it should be a subtraction sign. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the composition of functions, where we have something like f of g of x or g of f of x, or how I like to call them Fogg and Goff, and it kind of comes out a different way, but we'll talk about that in the next video.